Great.
Hello, hi,
Hello.
and welcome, Fotoula.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kim, for the opportunity to introduce my book and my work.
You're very welcome. So, for those who are watching at home, my name's Kim McLeod from Indie Authors World, and we're doing this short series of Blether sessions, is what we're calling them, all around what Book Week Scotland are doing this year. And I'm delighted that we've got Fotoula with us today. So, hi, Fotoula. Just tell us a little bit about you and your book. Then, what sort of things do you write about in your book?
So I'm Fotoula Adrimi. I have been in the holistic therapies field for a long time, and I had a bit shake up from life in 2006. What I would say, I was very much a seeker. So seeking at the time, about my soul and where I was, and there were so many different experiences that I was trying to make sense of. And then I wrote a spiritual book, also contains a big element of shamanism, which is my passion. But apart from that, it's really about the evolution of the soul and, what happens with life, how sometimes life helps us to shed a lot of layers and realize why we're here, what we're really here to do, and more about our soul's calling, and then how we heal the spiritual element, the cosmic element. That's all in the book. It's quite a lot to introduce because it's 326 pages of it.
Yep. And I've got a copy here, folks. So this is the book. Yep. And like you say, there is a lot. It is quite a it's a weighty one. There's lots of really good information in there. So has writing been your passion, or has it been that this life kind of evolved and you had to share it? I'm always interested as to what comes first for people.
Yes, I love to write. And what happened was when I was, about 11 and 12, I used to write poetry, and I used to write, short stories that I just love to write. And I used to just read them out to my family and my sisters. And sometimes they were kind and smiled and said it was good. Other times they just left halfway or something. So I just love, because it's very therapeutic for me as well. When I went through a very difficult time in my life, I started writing again and writing poetry. And that really was bringing answers, because through writing, you access this well of wisdom that is inside you. You don't know you have it until you start expressing it. And writing for me is a way to express it. I mean, I did other things in my life, painting. I realized I needed to put subtitles underneath my painting to say this is a dog and this is a cat. But writing is just so natural. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's interesting that what you're describing about experiencing some difficulties in life and finding that writing, whether it's poetry or some people will journal or some people will just write creatively, it's a great way to express even what's going on at that deeper level that we're maybe not always conscious of.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is what, the book is really an expression of my soul. And, I have a lot of information, a lot of research that I did about other beautiful spiritual people and what they do and what resonated with me, but also my own guidance and my own journey. And then at the end of each chapter, I included a poem that just summarizes the whole chapter and brings everything together. And a lot of people have commented how much the poem is just so emotional, touches them really deeply and makes sense to them. So it's a beautiful way to really, when you write, to express what is inside of you. Sometimes people say, how did you write this? And you just find it through yourself, just be authentic, within yourself. Yeah.
And I mean, I think that it does certainly comes across in your writing and in your book, So, and like you say, this really is a complete embodiment of your life, really, isn't it? It's not some people who are writing fiction. There sometimes will be an element of that in there, but this really reflects you.
Yes, very, very much so. I mean, I don't think you can write a spiritual book unless it is you in there, and it comes from a lot from experience and my own shamanic lineage from Greece, and my own journey with Western shamanism and other ways that I studied, because it made so much sense to me. This is really something I'm passionate about, and I go to a homeopath and he says, "Oh, you're the element of phosphorus." And I said, "What does that mean?" He said, "When you find something that you're passionate about, you just light up and you want to share it."
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's exactly what happens with me. So I have that in my work and in my writing, that it comes out of me, and I just want to share it because it has helped me. And I think, it can really help other people who are on a similar path,
Yeah.
and they're looking for something deeper.
So can you share a little bit about what, in case anybody who's watching this hasn't come across shamanism, and what that actually means?
So shamanism is a very ancient way of connection, where you find answers through Mother Earth, walking in nature, finding also parts of yourself through spiritual work, through ceremony, through meditation, and it's all over the globe, and it has some principles that, for example, the basic principle is that the reason we are experiencing illness, even, Mother Earth is ill and the environment, is because of a deeper disconnection with our own spirit. So shamanism is really about, in an experiential way, because there's no dogma, there's no religion as such, is you find your own way of experiencing that connection with your own spirit and the divine. Whatever way you experience it, you find it for yourself. And it's always about, working from the heart and the divine heart, because we have like the sacred heart, that is the connected heart, and the heart that gets us into trouble, going into the wrong relationships and all that. And people say, sometimes my heart has caused me so many problems, but that's the conditioning of the mind. I speak about that too in the book.
Yeah, yeah. And it's certainly, I think that's the thing, that you definitely are bringing your own experiences, and sharing that in a way that other people can then connect and help themselves to understand their, where, their journey and through their life and their connections, and get them exploring what can work for them.
Yes, absolutely. Because, the book is very practical as well. So you have all the theory, the research, and people say, "Oh, yeah, that resonates with me." But okay, I see the problem, but I'm still in the problem. So there are ways in every chapter that you can work with at your own pace, in your own way, and take what really feels right for you to, look at that and heal. I mean, there's a big element of healing in the book, and self-healing, and that is my path that I want to share, is like, yes, we can heal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the work that you're doing is really fundamental for people to kind of get a chance to look at what, how they can connect and how they can, take control as well, isn't it? It's about taking some control over your own life and what's happening, and recognizing that there are things that you can do. Even when you don't feel great and there's lots of challenges, there's always something that you can look at and take control of.
Absolutely, and this is really the message of the book and the message in my work. And I ran a shamanic group in Glasgow, and on Monday night, everybody who came to the group said, "I really don't know why I'm here, and just came here. It's a cold night, but I really don't know." And there was like this big atmosphere to say, "Why are we actually here?
Yeah.
What do we want to do?" And by the end of the evening, we were in a completely different place. It's like if we are jumping into a pool of light and we feel, a different person. And it's not about doing this once, but with the book and the exercises, is like we have to keep jumping into this pool of connection rather than just expect, okay, I'm not feeling well. So, and there's so much disconnection, so much depression, so much pain from our mind, to say, yes, let me feel connected again, where I feel my power, I feel my strength, and I take control, you know. And I also surrender to my life and what life is bringing me. And from that place of surrender and acceptance, I start building my own resources.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you were saying there about connection, you know, and that you know, obviously the theme for Book Week Scotland this year is all about blether. A very Scottish word, you know, for
I love this word.
and that connection, I think, you know, to be able to have a blether with somebody, you know, just so you've been doing that in your groups, that, you know, you've just even bringing people together because when we start to blether and share ideas, then, you know, that's magic happens, doesn't it? So, but I'd like to know, who do you most love to blether with then, Fotoula? You know, who is your go-to? Have you got a go-to person? Have you got, you know, somebody you like to blether with most?
I think it's great in life if we have a blethering partner or somebody that, you know, we can really talk, and we know that that person can be a great mirror for us and a great help for us. And also, you know, friendship is very important. So I have a very good friend that I thank the whole universe, you know, every day. Thank you for bringing somebody like this in my work, and we work together now. So my blethering friend as well is Swiss Sutherland, and it's a great support. And with the book, you know, when you're an author and you write, sometimes you can feel very lonely. So my first person was to you know, that read the book. I said, please give me an honest opinion before it went to a professional editor. And that was Fee as well. And she said, you know, I can see very clearly what elements of the book you wrote when you were in the space, when you were connected, what came from a higher place and what came from you. And I think some of the parts that came from you can take out.
So that's an honest friend as well, isn't it? That's somebody who can be alongside you, but also give you some good feedback sometimes, just to kind of pull back from something. So
yeah. And the other person I blether with, or you could say, is that I go to my meditation room sometimes and I start talking. And let's say I have a problem, and usually it's like, poor me, you know, we have this problem, something is not working. And I go there and I start talking. And out of what I say in my meditation room is very different to what I say when I'm sitting with a cup of tea in the kitchen. And I'm my blethering partner as well, because through that talk, the answer becomes so obvious, you know. So that's something else I do.
Yeah, and I think that's you know, that whole kind of meditation, that process of just being able to. Sometimes we need to be quiet, isn't it, so that we can hear. But you know, you know, even speaking out loud, suddenly when these other things come in, and it's like, it's almost like, okay, where did that come from then? These conversations with ourselves. That
it's maybe a blethering meditation.
I think maybe that's it. Maybe we should start this whole new fad then, Fotoula, of blethering meditations. I'm sure there's a market for it. So my last question that I want to kind of just to ask you is, have you ever had a conversation with someone that's actually changed your life?
Yeah, I mean, I had conversations, with people that changed my life, and it's usually when you know something, you know, you need to do something, and if the other person is actually saying, you know, what you already know. And you know, there were times in my life that I was dithering, you know, what to do, and there was very difficult decisions. And you just meet another person and says to you exactly what you need to do, just without even them knowing that, you know, that this is what you're struggling with. and you just think, yeah, I need to do that. So I had that kind of experience, and we all learn from each other, and sometimes we don't know what we are each other's angels. And people say that to me about during my sessions or the groups, or even having a cup of coffee, that sometimes I say something and I don't know why I said the thing I said, but sometimes it's that connection again that we are mirroring and helping, if our intention is good, helping each other. Yeah. And I love, in shamanism we have this thing that we are all one tribe, one prayer, one heart.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful saying that we're really, if we're coming from that space, all connected, and we can all be each other's angels.
Yeah. And that's such a beautiful sentiment, I think. And you like you say, you never really know the impact you can have having a conversation with someone. And now that just coming back to that whole notion of connection, there's a lot of people in the world these days who are disconnected, who are lonely, who are maybe don't have many conversations with people at all. And I think even just a smile and how are you today can spark a conversation with someone at the bus stop, in the shopping centre, just someone who's sitting on their own, just go and say hello to them, just because you never know that that conversation that day might really have been exactly what that person needed to hear, even when you don't know them.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's it. So we're going to encourage people to go out, get blethering, start some blethering meditations then.
Yeah. And if they're thinking about, okay, I can't go out, or it's raining today, read a good book.
Exactly. Yeah. Tap into a good book.
Yeah.
So where can people connect with you, Fotoula, if they want to know more about your work and what you're doing?
Yeah, so Fee Sutherland and I are running the IC School of Holistic Health, and there is a lot of information on our website. There are some videos also on YouTube. So if you put Fotoula Adrimi or the IC School of Holistic Health on YouTube, you can find our videos. Some of them are practical videos with meditations, shamanic journeys, other information that is on the website. You can read through a lot of information there, and you can come to our courses, retreats, and connect with us. I would love to see you.
Good. We'll certainly share the links out to your website, beneath the video. So check out, folks. I'm sure there'll be a link there somewhere with some details of how you can get in touch with Fotoula. So can I say thank you very much for being my co-bletherer today on this little chat. I do wish you a lot of success. I love the work that you're doing, and good luck with the book. I hope that it continues to touch people's hearts and make a difference in the world.
Thank you so much, Kim, and thank you very much to everybody who's listening, and to you and Sinclair for the wonderful work that you're doing, which is absolutely fantastic. As an author, finding a way to publish for myself, that was so important, because sometimes you give a book to a publisher and it's not the same book that you gave. Yeah. And I think it's just amazing. It's a bit of, really taking the step, and the final step of publishing, embodying that step, and controlling, and also having, it's also reclaiming our power through the whole process of publishing. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's our pleasure. So we'll say goodbye just now, and we'll hope to see you again soon. So thanks very much. Thanks for listening, people. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.